Hi guys, it's Unders. Today we're going to do a comparison between two Pultec plugins. One is the UAD, the other is a plugin by Black Rooster, something I've discovered recently and just wanted to have a little look at and thought I'd share it with you guys. So if these sorts of videos are helpful for you, please subscribe to the channel, pop a like on the video. It helps me out massively in creating more content for you guys. So essentially what a Pultec EQ is a tube-based analog equalizer. Okay, a tube equalizer will generate harmonics when the signal is pushed through it, and this particular EQ was made as part of an addition to another Pultec EQ. So Pultec did like a mastering sort of tube EQ, which became really renowned for a high-end lift and being able to cut and boost in the same frequencies. However, it left the mid-range a little bit unable to be attenuated and adjusted, and this became an add-on and was I believe named EQ Pultec VEQ5, something to that description. And you see both of these are then labeled similarly. Got VEQ5, which is the Black Rooster version, and the UAD Pultec MEQ5, which is obviously UAD's version. So what I've done here is just grabbed a little snippet from one of my tracks before it's been mastered. So this is the mix down stage that it would have been at. I've got a naked version which has no plugin on, just a gain plugin, so we can do some phase inversion in a bit, and that's currently disabled. You can see that over here on the left. On the master channel there is a limiter with 0.1 ceiling. That is just in case we end up doubling anything up and we get really loud spikes, but it's a clean limiter overall. It's not going to add anything to the sound. Second one down, we've got Rooster, which is VEQ5 here, and that is the settings as we've got in front of us. And then below that I've got UAD with the MEQ5 on and the settings we see here, and a disabled version of the other EQ. Now Black Rooster haven't done this EQ as a version, they've just got the 5 version, but this is what it would generally be partnered with, and UAD have made that. We're not going to test it today because there's no comparison to do, but it was just there so you can see the different Pultec EQs. Now what essentially happened was I was browsing through the internet looking for new stuff, as I often do, and I saw this, and I use UAD's Pultec in just about every project. I absolutely love it for like a top end boost. I use this version mostly, the 1A EQ, for exactly what it's supposed to be used for, really lifting up top end on some sounds and then being able to cut it at the same time. That's why you've got this boost and attenuation here. Seeing this, the GUI looked really nice, and I just thought, do you know what, we'll grab it, we'll try it out and see what sort of comparison it can give us. I mean, that is a key thing. The fact that this looked nice and was designed well is what attracted me in. So take hint, waves, and update your damn GUIs, you know what I mean? Anyway, what we're going to do is just have a listen. I'm just going to play through these. It's just going to be the naked version, the Rooster version, and then the UAD version, and then we'll just do a bit of A/B between them. I'd say that's actually pretty seamless between the two, not a dramatic difference. You obviously hear it when you can pack off the UAD there and all that top end suddenly disappears because I've been a bit dramatic on the boost to really give an impression of what's going on. But they're both sounding pretty on point, to be honest. Let's make a much shorter version of this here, where we can just go between very quickly. We'll just do it down to say 1 bar. We'll pop these together real quick. We can get a much quicker listen to what's going on here. close, which is quite impressive. I've been on the UAD Pultec for a long time and really enjoy using it. I think what we're going to do now is do a bit of A/B between the naked version and then the actual version, so then we'll A/B between the two and see if we can actually get those to cancel out. So I'm going to activate this now. So this is now loud, and this is going to be on the Roosters version here. We're going to turn the gain plugin on, and we're going to phase invert it left and right, and we're only going to hear the audible differences here. So we're expecting to hear quite a lot. A Pultec EQ has a really wide Q when it boosts, so let's hear the changes that are actually happening here. Okay, and just to confirm that it would be complete cancellation if we took it off. There we go, and now they completely cancel each other out. Okay, we now do the same with the UAD, and we'll see if we have a huge amount of difference compared to what we're hearing and what we perceive. We'll do that one bar. Might help if we copy that over. Okay, so now there's a real subtle difference in the super high end on the UAD. If you listen just to that shaker, it becomes a lot more present with the UAD plugin. If you're wearing headphones, it's panned hard left if you really want to focus there. For the most part though, they're pretty much spot on. It just, you're getting a little bit more high-end clarity with that UAD one. And that might well be because the UAD plugins often, when they emulate analog gear, will go to sort of 22 kilohertz rather than rolling off at 20. And that's how a lot of analog gear was set up. It was set up to be able to go beyond the range of hearing, so that you had the scope to go for that full high-end clarity. It didn't just roll off at 20. And the frequencies above 20 still affect everything else, and it does affect the sound quite a lot. If you ever get the option to work on an analog desk, you can actually really hear that in the right sort of room, where those really high frequencies affect everything else. And when it comes down to then bouncing it to a 44.1 kilohertz, 44.1 16-bit CD file or WAV file, however you want to go, the effect that those high frequencies have had in there still affect that audio lower down in the spectrum. So you do get a changes, and you are able to hear that. UAD do that on a lot of their plugins. They allow you to go way beyond. A really good example, which I'll bring up real quick we'll put it on the master, is Fab Filters Pro Q. They also have this. So you see it actually goes beyond 20 hertz and above 20 kilohertz, and we can actually see that in the frequency response, and perhaps we'll be able to see a difference here. Let's have a little look. So if we look right down here, there's maybe a decibel and a half difference between the two, and getting a little bit more out of the UAD. We can see it's coming so slightly above the 20k, but not massively. That will likely be because my mix rolls off at that point as well. I've got to say, overall though, for the price, it's a really good sounding version of the Pultec 5 EQ. I'm pretty impressed with that. I think it's currently on sale for like $50. It might well be worth grabbing and just being able to use that a little bit more. And if you guys don't have access to a Pultec EQ, I mean, this is almost comparable to the UAD version, which is I think like 3 or 4 times the price, and you have to have UAD hardware. It's absolutely worth going and checking out, guys. As a 14-day free demo, that's just what I'm looking at now. I really hope this video has been helpful for you. I will link Black Rooster down in the description if you want to go and grab that demo. I'm pretty impressed. I'm going to keep playing around with it and see how we go. Thanks for your time, guys. I shall see you on the next one.